Good morning, Sunny Hill. It's Teresa back here again on Thursday morning. Great for you to join me. And today we're looking at a verse in Acts 1 and verse 8, where it calls us to be witnesses. Acts 1 and verse 8 says, "But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, in Judea and Samaria, and to the ends of the earth." Now then, as we know, as we've been looking at this week, Jesus had instructed his disciples to witness to people of all nations about him. We've been talking about that for the last few days. But they were told to wait for first for the Holy Spirit. We've already said that we can't do this on of our own accord. We need the Holy Spirit. We need that power within us. And as Christians, we have that power within us. God has an important work for you and me to do. But you must do it in the power of the Holy Spirit. We can't do it in our own strength because, as I said yesterday, we mess up. We mess up. But when we've got the Holy Spirit in us, guiding us and helping us, then we're more likely to get it right. And we're more likely to go ahead with what God's plan is rather than our own plan. So, but we often as human beings like to get on with the job, don't we? We like to get on with it. We like to, even if it means running ahead of what God's plans are. But waiting is sometimes part of God's plan, and something that we find sometimes hard to deal with. So if you're thinking about evangelism, if you're thinking about the things that we've been talking about this week and how that affects you and your life, really seek God and wait for that answer. Seek God and ask him what he's asking you to do in your sphere of influence, because we need God's timing and God's power to be truly effective in what we do in our evangelism. And as we come to this verse in Acts today, this verse describes a series of ever-widening circles. The gospel was to spread geographically from Jerusalem into Judea and Samaria and finally to the ends of the earth. It would begin with some Jews in Jerusalem and Samaria and spread to the mixed races of Samaria and finally offered to the Gentiles all over the world. God's gospel has not reached its final destination if there's someone in your family, in your friendship group, in your workplace that doesn't know Jesus. And that's why we're all called to do this Great Commission, because we still know, each one of us, I'm sure, somebody that doesn't love the Lord, that someone that hasn't perhaps heard the gospel and hasn't heard the good news of Jesus Christ. And we need to make sure that we're contributing in some way to that ever-widening circle of God's loving message. We need to make sure that we're doing our part in living a faith that reflects what we believe, and in having conversations, having that boldness, that courage in the influences, circles of people that we meet to change the world that we live in. Because how great a place would it be if we were all Christians? Just think about that. How great a place would it be? So as you go away from today and think about this, again, I'd really say seek the Holy Spirit. That we all know the Holy Spirit lives in us, and we know that we have that power to fire us up, to give us that boldness, to give us that courage, to give us the things that we as human beings lack in order to go out and do this Great Commission. So be encouraged. Do not be afraid. Be encouraged. Be encouraged that God is equipping you for all that he's asking you to do. Have a great day, and I'll see you for the last day of the week tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.